Okay, that's dry enough now. The color is strong. Get some extra water. Get the extra water out of the brush. Do the second layer. Much nicer. And it's still coming across as an even wash, which is nice. I didn't do too badly with that futz. Well, the batteries died, and while I was waiting for that to be fixed, I've gone ahead and finished with the gold ochre and the cadmium red light mixture. And I want you to look at something here. See how much more brilliant this color is than this. These are earth tones, and they won't give you as brilliant color as the regular yellows will. Talk about bright. These are really nice. These are also mixed with the duller reds, maroon, burnt sienna, brown madder, Indian red, and so on. And for really brilliant color, you have the bright yellows and the bright reds. Wonderful range too. Anyway, we've also got another thing going on here. You see, this is not a good range of values. Very, very short range of values. This is an excellent range of values. You know you can get lighter than this. You know you can get darker than this. It's really an excellent exercise here for you. There is another value study that we're going to do eventually. I'm being talked into teaching classes here. So I'm ready for the second layer of the quinacridone gold, or quin gold, and the cadmium red light. What tends to happen when you're mixing a transparent paint like this and a opaque color, you get a little bit of texture going on. The particles in the opaque pigments are, I think what it is heavier. It may be larger, but they settle out first, and you get kind of a separation. We saw that on the palette, even with the semi-transparent. Now here we are with the transparent color. There's going to be an even more marked difference. It's one of the wonderful things about playing with your paint and learning all of these different things about it. You'll be working on something and you think, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could do velvet? How am I going to get that texture? And you think, oh, yeah, if I mix this with that, that happens. Okay, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to use my time by multitasking. God, I hate that term. And clean off this old paint we're not using anymore. Also keep an eye on how moist the other wells are. Just kind of take care of little tasks. Waiting doesn't have to be dead time. One of the things that I did when I first started doing color books, swatches, color swatch books, however you want to say it, was to read a little blurb about color. I could use some more water, that can too. Ah, our reds are going dry. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you keep the paints completely wet. Okay, it's still a little damp. Blow on it, blow on it. This is another reason why I really miss summer. It's a lot faster. A lot of times people want to pull out a hairdryer right about now. Not a good idea when you're working on something like this. For paintings, it's fine, but when you want to have a color that you're going to match later on, 10 years down the line, you really want to have the integrity as pure as possible. The heat from the hairdryer doesn't make a difference to the pigment, of course, unless you burn the paper. But it affects the binders and the other ingredients in paint. There's all kinds of stuff in paint. You've got humectant, fillers, preservatives, dispersing agents, all kinds of stuff. Bruce McAvoy over at www.handprint.com, Handprint, has done an incredible amount of work with paint and explaining properties and how things work, and color evaluations and paper evaluations, and a lot of research. I saw a photograph of his studio with all of his color swatches on the floor where he was doing light fastness tests. And those are ratings that are also done by an official group. I think it's ASTM, don't quote me on that. I can look it up on my tube of paint. Let's do that. ASTM, yep. But he's done his own tests, and it might be differences in atmosphere from pollution and things like that, but he's had some different results, and he suggests that everyone do their own tests. He does things for opacity. So really some interesting exercises listed over there. It can be a confusing site, but it's worthwhile trying to figure out how to get around it. The color wheels he's got are awesome. Okay, now this quinacridone gold that's dry compared to the third layer is wonderful for oranges. I know it's an orange, but I mean oranges. So down in position number 3, we're going to write the numeral 8, because that's the next on the list. Instead of just writing orange, I'm going to write oranges, so I know I mean the fruit. And the next one is like persimmons. And you know, now that I'm looking at the burnt sienna and the scarlet lake, that looks like rose hips to me. Rose hips. Birds love to eat them, makes great tea.